Oh, yes.
Good. Hi, good evening, everyone. And it's my enormous pleasure to welcome to our call today William Branner, who is an ophthalmologist in Charlotte, in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Very, very pleased to have you on, William. And also we have Mira with us as well, Mira Soda in London. And you are Mira
An optometrist.
An optometrist, great. So the focus of the call today is really all about eyes. So that's entirely what we're going to be focusing on. So William, thank you very, very much indeed for joining us. The first question that we'd really like to ask you is just a little bit of a brief introduction about yourself. And are you focusing on any particular aspects of eye health?
Well, sure. I'm an ophthalmologist, and I've been an ophthalmologist now for 28 years. I'm a general ophthalmologist, which gives me the option of taking care of patients in a variety of ways, anywhere from fixing their need for glasses or contact lenses, or doing surgeries for cataract surgery and glaucoma and diabetes. The specialty allows me to use some great technologies at this point to help people see better and look better and feel better. But my special area is in cataract surgery. And of course, that brings me into contact with a lot of our elderly patients who also have conditions that are somewhat frustrating, because a particular eye condition that I see a lot of is one called macular degeneration. And it's very common in folks who are 55 and older. They have this gradual loss of central vision, which is frustrating because it's not anything I can treat. I can't get people surgically a new macula. Although I will say 2 weeks ago, there was a published report of 2 patients in England who had stem cell replacements of their macula and allowed them to see better because of that evolving treatment. But my specialty lies in taking care of elderly patients a lot, and macular degeneration is one of those conditions that we can talk about as far as nutrition and its effects.
Wow, well that's fascinating and very interesting, obviously, for everyone, because everyone eventually will get to that point. So
sure.
that's very, very, very interesting indeed. So just turning on to the Juice Plus, when did you first come across Juice Plus? And what sparked your interest in it?
Well, it was a personal interest in that my father has macular degeneration, and he has lost a significant amount of his central vision. I even have this little visual aid that I'm going to try to make work here, if it will. And this is what it looks like for a person who has macular degeneration when they're looking at details. You can't see my face.
No.
Your peripheral vision's okay. You can see fingers. You can see fingers to the side. But when you look straight ahead at something, it's as if you've lost the ability to see the STOP in the stop sign.
Yeah.
But your peripheral vision is still intact. My dad has that condition, and there's no treatment for that once it sets into that severity. So I began looking at hard at the nutrition options for treating these patients. Years ago, there was a study done that was called the ARID study, where vitamins were looked at as a possible treatment for people who were developing macular degeneration. The ARID study showed that there was a benefit to a small percentage of patients if they already had the disease. But if they were like me and had just a family history of it, specific isolated vitamins were shown to be not beneficial. So isolated vitamins, although I recommend those for patients who have moderate to severe disease, and those come in a called Ocuvite Preservision. My patients who come to me who say I have a family history of the disease, or I diagnosed them with mild disease, vitamins were not helpful. So we started looking at some other studies that showed a benefit from just having more fruits and vegetables in your diet. And it was actually a study published in the British Journal of Ophthalmology several years ago that showed that the more vegetarian one is, the lower the risk of developing macular degeneration. And that study even striated the participants into those that were meat eaters, those that were chicken eaters, those that were fish eaters, those that were vegetarians, and those that were vegan. And they found with each step along that path of risk factors for macular degeneration, with each step along that path of nutrition, the more vegetarian you are, the lower your risk. But when we talk to nutritionists, they're recommending 9 to 13 half-cup servings of different fruits and vegetables per day. And that wasn't really a practical thing to offer my patients. So I started looking at Juice Plus. And Juice Plus has in it, of course, 32 different fruits and vegetables and berries that offer a lot of antioxidant activity. And so in talking to patients, if their nutrition isn't adequate and they have concerns about developing macular degeneration, I tell them about the benefits of Juice Plus and ask them to include that in their nutrition.
Fascinating, fascinating. Okay, good. So I'm going to hand some of the further questions on to Mira, because I think they might be a little bit too complicated for me.
Sure, sure.
But Mira, I know you've got some other questions that you'd like to ask. So why don't we just hand over to you, and you're going to take us a little bit more into detail about some of the more eye-related questions.
Yeah, that's right. Hi, William. Thank you again for joining us on the call. So we'll dive straight in. So we're talking about, you introducing your patients to Juice Plus because of the quantities of fruit and veg that you get from the capsules, or taking the capsules that you won't necessarily get in your diet, I think, which we all know is very important. But have you noticed in specific any long-term benefits of patients who have been taking Juice Plus for a while since you've been recommending them?
Yes, my favorite story is sort of like the Three Little Pigs story, where the hardest working pig was able to survive the attacks of the wolf. I have patients who are actually three elderly sisters, and in talking to them and taking care of them through the years, all three of them developed macular degeneration. And I recommended Juice Plus to all three of them. Two of the sisters were fairly stubborn and declined the offer. The third sister started taking Juice Plus. And as the years went by, I could see that she was maintaining her vision, while her sisters were losing their vision and developing the blind spot in the central vision, like I was showing you. And so, again, Juice Plus is not a treatment for any disease, but it is a supplement to try to increase the nutrition in patients who are elderly, who are developing macular degeneration from what I think is a nutritional deficit. And those are just testimonials and isolated things. I haven't studied it in a large group. It hasn't been studied in a large group for this particular condition. But that's what I've seen in a number of my patients, is a stabilizing effect on their vision, where this nutrition is making a difference.
Brilliant. And is there an indication of using or recommending Juice Plus to patients other than those who have started developing macular degeneration, things like glaucoma, other retinal diseases? Are there any indications where that may actually help or be beneficial for patients?
There's certainly some studies that show that the better one's nutrition, the more vegetarian one is, the less likely you are to develop cataracts, because the same biochemical changes going on in the macula are going on in the lens in the eye. And then with patients who have glaucoma, their visual loss is from cell death. And we have studies that show that apoptosis, or cell death, is reduced in patients who are vegetarian. And so there are reasons behind using it, not just for macular degeneration patients or those with a family history of it, but also talking nutrition with patients who have glaucoma or cataracts.
Okay, that's brilliant. So as practitioners, you mentioned the ARED studies, which we're all familiar with in the profession, and they've developed specific supplements that we recommend to patients. So, would Juice Plus, or is there a way that Juice Plus fits into the whole prescribing criteria, or is it a replacement for some of the ARED supplements that are out there in the market because it provides a wider sort of spectrum of nutrients? How does that fit in? If I were a practitioner wanting to recommend Juice Plus, how would I sort of go forward with that?
Yeah, it's an easy conversation for that patient who comes in and says, mom or dad has macular degeneration and I don't want to get it. Can you check my eyes to be sure I'm not developing it? And those patients I very quickly get to the point where, how's your nutrition and how are you eating? And they'll say, I eat fine. I said, well, do you eat 9 to 13 half-cup servings of different fruits and vegetables a day? Because that's what it's going to take to reduce your risk. So those patients, it's a very easy segue into talking about Juice Plus. If a patient has macular degeneration, I think it's we're obligated, based on the ARED study, if they have moderate to severe macular degeneration, to recommend that. Mm-hmm. It has been shown to be helpful in about 29% of patients who were treated with the AREDS formula. But I still think those patients, in general terms, are going to benefit from Juice Plus because of its wide array of nutrients. There's 10,000 nutrients in an apple. And for us to take out the vitamin C and the vitamin A and the E of the apple and just throw away everything else, it doesn't work. Isolated vitamins have not been helpful. But if you eat the apple and you get all 10,000 nutrients, it makes a difference.
That's true. So one of the other things that comes up in the study is the beta carotene and a lot of or carotene and a lot of patients or a lot of people who tend to consult Dr. Google tend to get a little bit concerned when they look at the beta carotene and they come in and they say, well, is this going to affect me? Am I going to end up getting lung cancer? So it's trying to weigh up. So what would you say? I mean, of course, the proportion, and they're saying it's not a large proportion, but is that something that we need to be cautious about when recommending Juice Plus, or for that matter any other supplement that contains beta carotene?
There's a difference in how beta carotene is absorbed when it's synthetic versus when it's in its natural form. Mm-hmm. in vegetables, and it's in its natural form in fruits and vegetables in Juice Plus. So I don't have that concern with my patients.
Brilliant.
That's concerning.
Excellent. And now we've got the new omega-3 omega capsules, which I'm very excited about. Do you find that that's something, I mean, were you recommending omega-3s to your patients beforehand, and does this actually now slot in as a better alternative?
I have some personal experience with that. I have a little bit of a dry eye problem myself, and as soon as the omega-3s the omegas became available through Juice Plus, I started taking those, and I've noticed a big improvement in my own symptoms, and it makes sense that those would work. We have certain recommendations for dry eye patients that are different formulas of fish oil capsules, and this is nice to have a plant-based source of omegas that can really help with the dry eye condition.
Brilliant. Yes, I think the omega-7s have also, in some alternative health therapies, been shown to be very good for dry eyes. So I think it's fantastic because I've noticed a big difference in my dry eye situation. So it's been fantastic. So when someone comes in, do you tend to recommend the full spectrum of the capsules that we have available, or do you tend to base it on the person who's sitting in front of you? Because each modality, so whether we take the berries or the fruit and veg or all three or the omegas, they all are beneficial to us in some way or another. So do you tend to have a protocol that you follow, that if someone's sitting in front of you with either a family history or someone who needs extra nutrients, as to what you'd recommend to them? Is it a budget related thing, or is it a needs related thing? How would you decide what the patient should get or should have?
I base recommendations specifically on what those patients' needs are in talking to them. So if we're talking to a patient who's concerned about macular degeneration and they're answers to my questions about nutrition are showing they're deficient, I will ask them if it's okay for my wellness coordinator to call them. And I will tell them that they're going to learn about a product called Juice Plus, which gives them 32 fruits and vegetables in a concentrated form that's been available for 23 years, that has 36 research studies to back up the bioavailability and the health effects of it, and that they, I think, would benefit from taking this. And then I leave it at that point. And I have a well-trained wellness coordinator who will speak to them. And before they talk to my wellness coordinator, I have the patient go to my own Juice Plus site, which is called foodforsight.plus.com. And they can go to that and they'll see the different products that are available. But in terms of recommending the other products that are available, like the Complete or the Power Bars and the Omegas and even the Tower Garden, the Juice Plus trio is a good starting point for those patients. And then they can begin to see some of the other things our company is about and the Juice Plus company is about. And I'm definitely a distributor for Juice Plus, so I have that bias, but patients know that too. So.
Right. So do you have, and this is interesting because this call is something that a lot of practitioners in the UK are going to be watching, or sort of watching after we finish. Are your wellness coordinators trained in a full spectrum of nutrients, or are they qualified in any sense, or is it just that they're aware of the qualities of our products and then recommending based on what the patients are hearing or patients are saying rather?
Their knowledge is based on Juice Plus company and the information that we have. It's not a registered dietitian or someone who has those kinds of credentials, although I don't see why that wouldn't work well. It's just in my case, it's a person who has attended conferences with us and my wife and who knows enough information. And if questions come up that she can't answer, they're always directed to me. Also, the Juice Plus company is offering within its own corporate resources a wellness coordinator within the corporation, and there's a way to access that through the website.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's quite good to know that you don't have to be a fully trained dietitian or nutritionist to be able to speak to patients or customers or clients about the products. Lastly, about the business side of things, do you feel or do you think that Juice Plus has been quite a good addition to your practice? Do you think that the growth aspect of, practice in general has been quite good after joining the company?
Yeah, there's two ways that it's really, I think, made an impact. One is just the passive income from that. And based on the number of patients that you recommend this a day, you can increase your income significantly. And that's ongoing income, passive income. That's an easy fit in my practice because I have an optical shop, and I get income from that, and I have a contact lens department, and I get income from that, and I have other services that I offer. So it doesn't seem foreign to my staff or me or patients to say we also have this nutritional center, and we make recommendations on that and have some significant income from that, and it's ongoing income, so it's passive residual income that's quite nice. The second thing is it's allowed me to differentiate myself from some of the other eye docs because although it seems a little unusual to be asked by your ophthalmologist or your optometrist, how many fruits and vegetables do you eat? It turned into a conversation where the patients seem to really appreciate that. And they say, gosh, my own doctor doesn't even ask me about this. And here you are concerned about my nutrition, about my risk of cancer recurrence, about my risk of heart disease, about my risk of Alzheimer's, and what I can do nutritionally to offset that risk. And so in a couple of minutes, you can make that connection. So we have in our waiting room a slideshow that shows pictures of my beautiful family and some slides of procedures that I do, as well as a revolving slideshow that mentions Juice Plus and the values of good nutrition. And as patients wait for me in the waiting room, by the time they get back, many of them will say, "Tell me about this Juice Plus product," or they'll say, "Tell me why your wife looks so much younger than you."
My God.
I'm sure she's going to want to watch a recording of this this little clip now. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Is there anything that you'd like to add to it that you think may be beneficial to any other, anyone within our profession? Anything else that they'd find valuable? I think we've covered we've covered a wide range of topics, but do you feel there's anything else that may be beneficial at all?
I think it's just important for us to be sure we know what our patients are taking nutritionally. And I think it's important that we share with them the fact that isolated nutrients have been shown over and over again to not be beneficial in most conditions, and that a safe way to protect their health and prevent future disease is right there on their plate when it's full of good old fruits and vegetables. And if they can't do that, there's a good alternative for that in Juice Plus. And you
Brilliant.
can 30 seconds to any patient.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, William. It's been fantastic speaking with you this evening, and thank you so much for staying back after a long day's work. I know how that feels, but it's been very helpful, and I'm sure it's going to be very helpful to a lot of professionals who are going to be watching this back.
Okay, I'm glad to be of help.
Great.
Thank you very much.
William, thank you very much indeed.
Yes,
Take care.
sir.
Have a nice evening.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Take care.